And I'll now go on to Juha Kytola. I can never get his Scandinavian name down.
Mr. Kytola.
Kytola. I suppose you've got a Kytola on the protection of the marine environment and industrial business. And then there's Klaus Berglund has arrived, but I'll give you a... You're here, oh right. Well, I'll give you a minute to get your breath, so to speak. So you are. Yeah.
Either you sit or you stand, it's up to you.
Okay, then I stand if it is. Kytola we say in Finland, but all the rest of Europe it's Kytola. Works well. It's a pleasure to be here. I come from industry. I come from company Wärtsilä. Myself, I come from Vaasa in Finland, a region where also we have relations links to the 10T program, regionally midline alignment program, there connecting Sweden and Finland being done. But I'm here actually representing our company Wärtsilä, which is a global company. We are very big in producing and selling engines, the biggest actually for four-stroke engines in the marine side, with diesel or marine diesel, heavy fuel, gas, methane, etc. We design ships, we are a ship design company. We produce environmental products. We are making hundreds of exhaust gas scrubbers for cleaning sulfur oxides, catalyst for NOx. We also produce water treatment systems, water cleaning systems, wastewater, grey water, black water, ballast water, beach water, etc. So we are very much involved with the marine world. Me myself, I'm working as Vice President for Environmental Solutions in our company. We have also produced a vision for sustainability in shipping for the future. And I would like to share that vision with you. It's only one slide what I will present here in order not to spend too much of your time. But these are the main elements what we feel are important for the maritime sector going forward and looking sustainability. We very much believe that it's the total value chain that needs to be optimized, and we need to have a safe mode of transportation. And also, everything we do needs to add value to society. So here also the previous discussion about the economy, it really comes a lot into question also when looking forward. And it's one pillar actually of sustainability, social, economy and environment. The first box what I have up in here is the minimized emissions. That needs to be the clear target for the industry. It means less energy consumption, the fuel in a format that produces less pollution, and secondary measures also to clean either emissions going to air or emissions going down to water. When it comes to technical solutions, we don't believe there is only one way to go forward. For different ways of maritime or areas of maritime sector, there needs to be different solutions also available. As such, it's good, I would say, the maritime field, because there is clear industrial activity. A lot of competition, a lot of suppliers, a lot of research and development taking place, trying to bring also good solutions to the market. But the goal, one of the important goals needs to be minimized emissions. And here we are speaking to the air or to water. I think this is addressed well if I also reflect the paper what we have seen the draft of. The emissions part is there well addressed. The second is that the total efficiency. We shouldn't look too much details when looking into solutions. So we need to look more and more the big picture, the total efficiency. Of a vessel it means the design, it's the propulsion systems, it's the engine systems there, and the way to use and utilize energy. Total efficiency. We see many players actually in the market already by themselves focusing also on the total efficiency. Even, I would say, some with the risk of you, if you ask, are they really looking the economics at the same time, but they trust that when the total efficiency is the best, it is not only saving and helping the environment, it also works beneficially for the economy. And this is something we should strive for, all of us, and look the total. There is still a lot to gain also when doing that. My third area of focus in the vision, what we have produced, is safety, vessel safety. That needs to be improved. We all understand there can be very big risks for human life or for the environment if vessel safety is not focused at. And what we especially see is important to work more and more with smart monitoring. We know that the economy is important for the shipping operation. Nobody affords to have as many people on board that every aspect is all the time monitored and followed. We can use technology to do part of the work, and in a more and more intelligent way. What I would like to, as a buzzword, when we heard the KPI was used in the paper, digitalization is actually a buzzword also, which perhaps could be emphasized a little bit furthermore, because through connecting systems together intelligently and utilizing analytics, which is based on experience and good practices, actually a lot can be done further, which is helping in this aspect. Then fuel flexibility is needed towards more sustainable fuels. We have the traditional fuels being in the market, which are based on fossil fuels in liquid format. Now we see more and more gaseous fuels. But it's not only one, it's not only natural gas, methane, also ethane gas we see. Also possibly mixing up later on bio-produced gases. It works very well in the environment, but we might need some encouragement also for the industry to go there. Or liquid format of biofuels, which on land-based are already used in many applications, but not yet on shipping, which will help in this aspect. Or we have different fuels like methanol, or such, which also might come. It looks that there is no, again, one solution that fits all. So world will not only go from one to another, but there needs to be choices and options available. Maybe like KPIs will help in guiding to the most environmentally relevant ones then. And then the last aspect here, what we have is the life cycle aspect. We should look over the life cycle of the solutions that are brought in, not only how the products are when they enter into the market. And also fleet optimization is important. So having the correct fleet for the correct purpose, that of course is important. Whether then the vessels become more universal to be used in more segments optimally, or that there is more separation, segregation. That is possible. So this, in short, is our view and vision on where the sustainability in maritime sector could and should focus at. One thing I would like to end here, we in Europe, we might feel we are advanced very much, and like Lord Prescott was also saying, we in EU have actually focused a lot on environment, but actually looking many aspects. In Americas, they are ahead of us in Europe, and the others are coming and catching up. What I would like also to highlight and maybe propose in the paper, in the areas of emission control there is now missing the recent ones. China has decided already also to put SECA control areas in place, which will be in its full already 2020 in 3 areas of river estuaries there and nearby ports and harbors. There is a lot of development in the world. So yes, EU is progressive and going actively forward, but so are other areas also, and for good reasons. you can certainly all understand why in China they now start to focus on ship emissions also in those areas where the air quality is so bad that every single person carrying a mobile phone in the pocket is on the forum screen having the air particulate count measurement just to see if they go out or not, or stay in that day. So it's so practical. So this is my short view on the maritime vision for the future. Thank you.
Any questions to you? John?
I'm interested in how you get that global framework, which I was talking about before. What's clear, even from what you've said, I like that presentation. To be fair, I never knew much about the KPIs, and I'm hoping to learn a lot more. It's obviously a process to be used, but at the end of the day, you've mentioned China, and you've mentioned the United States. That's exactly the argument we had in the global negotiations. How do you get something that's common to all without being disadvantageous to them in different stages of their development? It broke down between China and America, and they didn't, I won't go into the history of it, but they need to agree. So you sometimes end up with the least worst situation, if you like, that they have to have a framework. So China puts a control of access to our ports now on emission controls and fuel use, and does the monitoring of them. America has a similar situation in certain circumstances, though it's dumping its lousy coal on us for fracking, but leaving that aside at the moment. But these are changes to shipping, how things move about. You probably have to end up then with getting, which I was suggested before, a solution that's acceptable to all, and perhaps not the best one. And in this circumstances now, anything on global agreement will have to be what these big parties, and that's why Europe's important, can agree between them. So when America says, yes, we're for global, but they can't pass it through their through the Congress. So China says, I'm not going to have a legal agreement if the Americans haven't got one. So we end up with this national solution, which some of us had advocated, but it's still going forward. To my mind, it may not be the best, but we have to meet these different competing economics of climate change. We have to find a common agreement. But it won't be just each continent now, it will be a global agreement, so none of the global areas, continental areas, are affected. So I think you're right about that. There's many questions of it, but it will be where you need a global framework to be agreed in order to implement whatever happens in Europe.
Yeah, I would comment on that. At first, our company, we are about 20,000 persons around the world, everywhere. We are very much present in China also. We are very much present in US also. That helps us to create the perspective a little bit. What I fully agree is that if in the framework of coordination legislation there would be global agreements, that would perhaps globally also benefit the environment the best, because then all the focus is put on developing solutions for that goal. The worst what can happen is that every single nation or even area has their own legislation, which is a little bit what it is on the land-based part of power production, since there we still miss a little bit that. On maritime, we have a strength since we have the IMO, which is able to set something, although ratification might be difficult, as we see on the Ballast Water Convention. But on maritime, we do have a broader perspective, which is as such giving a good framework. The best would be if we would have as wide as possible regulation ruling, and the second, that would be predictable. So that when we once have something decided, that would also stay. The better in advance, or the more in advance, the better, of course. But anyway, having back and forth, like in Baltic area, where a NECA area was about to be set and is withdrawn back from 16, and now it's about 21, which is being proposed at this moment. This kind of thing takes two big swings, movements, back and forth. Everybody loses, because focus is lost and the money is lost, starting from R&D and processes and so on. So the more global, more widespread, and the more predictable, so one set it stays. It's best for the whole industries because then one can be
That's why these independent bodies, that the statements of what we're doing now in the policy has to be judged in the global sea by 2020. So whatever we propose and whatever America proposes, you have to find a common assessment that is beneficial for all. What we're doing here is putting the European one into those global negotiations. And Europe has made a difference to that. The Americans used to tell us you can't sell to America because basically we'll decide you've got to do it to us. All of a sudden when they wanted to sell cars and aeroplanes to us, they decided they had to do, we were the biggest consumer market. So Europe is one of the biggest influences in these international negotiations.
Europe is indeed very important, and we see some other countries, if I continue, like India. India, in setting their regulations, actually follow very much what Europe does. So it's also showing the way, showing the way. And a little bit in China also, they follow, not US, they merely follow EU.
Any other questions? Josie?
Okay, thank you very much. Do not forget that the way we wanted to do this is having your questions that will become a part of the conference proceedings and of the future paper. So that's the whole idea. Or just opening the way so that at a later stage, I mean, what I'm saying in a week or so, you send us a structured paper that we can take as a contribution. The speakers, they have accepted to be our referees in terms of the technical quality of the paper. Noblesse oblige. And so that we are certain that we will bring a paper to the Parliament, all in all, that reflects the views of the industry and of the institutional stakeholders, and that is technically correct. Okay? And that's the reason why we are having meetings with the Parliament immediately after every and each meeting, so that there is a technical correctness that we share with the members of the Parliament. If I would go to the process, back to the process of the SECA area, of adopting the IMO and coming to the Sulfur Directive, I would say that the relationships between the stakeholders and the Parliament were not perfect. The chicken and egg problem, everything is available off the shelf. We are ready to implement everything, so we see the problems that we are still facing today. We managed to overcome much thanks to the industry, and because the Commission has also put some money where its mouth was. That is very important, that we put our money, and that is a little bit what you are helping us to do. It's helping focusing so that it is predictable and that we are putting our money where our mouth is. What we are trying to get is where our mouth is. So this is just to tell you that your contributions are fundamental. Okay? So don't just be sitting there. It is nice. I can be lullabied by Lord Prescott. You know, I will give all the money to the Amber. Or by Mr. Kytola, there's a very intelligent approach. But then what happens with clay? Yeah.
Can I just say, I don't know what was jumping in. I think you have a wonderful opportunity, having read this document and not being involved actively with you in this concept. You're likely to be the leader in it. There are many other industries that have got to change. They can't, it's no longer business as usual. You can't do that. Now what you've got here, you've thought out of some of the processes about the fuel, about the efficiency, it's global, it's nature. You have a great opportunity here that this will become a kind of model that other industries will have to look at, where you combine profitability, efficiency and climate criteria. It's the economics of change that's quite crucial. So I think you're well ahead here because you've done so much work and it's embodied in the paper. It become a European model.
Yeah. Any other questions? No, thanks. You?